Prince William has finally snapped. Enough is enough. He has told friends he will strip Meghan Markle of the HRH title she keeps using, defying an agreement with the late Queen Elizabeth II to no longer use the title. The Daily Beast has reported that King Charles is turning a blind eye, but King William won't.
For years, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have walked a delicate line, no longer working royals yet still holding the titles that tie them to the British monarchy. But now that rope is snapping. The British establishment, silent for too long, is finally responding, and the House of Lords is leading the charge. Behind the grand columns of Westminster, what began as a quiet whisper is now erupting into a political storm. Not driven by scandal, not fueled by tabloids. This time, it's official. Parliament is stepping in with a formal petition aimed squarely at Meghan Markle, and it's not symbolic. It's a direct challenge to her continued use of the title Her Royal Highness.
So, she's used the HRH title Her Royal Highness on a monogram note attached to a gift basket sent to her friend, the entrepreneur Jamie Kern Lima. The note read, "With compliments from HRH, the Duchess of Sussex." Now, this is a total contravention of an agreement made with the palace in 2020 when these selfish...
What was once dismissed as royal drama is now turning into something far more serious, a legal and constitutional reckoning. And at the centre of it all, a woman who critics say wants the crown's privileges without its burdens, and a royal system that's finally had enough. The timing couldn't be more explosive. Just weeks after Harry and Meghan's unofficial tour of Nigeria, complete with speeches, handshakes and royal car photo ops, the backlash has grown into a full-scale institutional response. While Buckingham Palace has remained silent, Parliament is no longer willing to let protocol slide. This wasn't a charity visit. It was diplomacy without approval. And that's what has set alarms ringing in Whitehall. What really ignited fury wasn't just the optics. It was the signature. A handwritten note attached to a gift basket Meghan sent during the trip was signed Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. That title was removed in 2020 as part of the exit deal negotiated with Queen Elizabeth, and using it now violates that agreement. To lawmakers, this wasn't a simple oversight. It was a line crossed. A title meant to symbolise service is now being used to promote brand Meghan. And for Britain's political class, that's not just improper, it's an insult. So now, instead of ignoring the headlines, the House of Lords is preparing to rewrite them.
Brats decided that they wanted independence, freedom and privacy. The great irony is that just in the last 24 hours, this programme has reported that Harry is feeling more isolated, imprisoned and purposeless than he ever has. Be careful what you wish for, big guy. So in 2020, when the couple decided that they wanted to get rid of their royal duties, move to North America, the palace was so generous, so typically generous, by saying, well, look, in principle, we should remove HRH, Her Royal Highness, His Royal Highness. But that would be a little inelegant to strip you of those particular words. So what we're going to do is we're going to politely ask you not to use HRH, and that way we don't have to have the kind of very public flogging, you know, the great sort of ignominy that the titles are removed. Let's just have an unspoken agreement that you won't use HRH. Now that is what I would call British discretion.
Inside the House of Lords, a formal petition is now on the table. One that directly challenges Meghan's continued use of royal status. Backed by members across party lines, it doesn't mince words. The charges are sharp. Exploiting a royal title for commercial gain, defying agreed-upon protocol, and causing reputational damage to the Crown through unauthorised international appearances. At the heart of this petition is a centuries-old rulebook. British titles are not accessories, they are constitutional markers awarded for duty and service, not celebrity status. And Meghan, critics argue, has blurred that line beyond recognition. By signing off on podcasts, events and merchandise with her former title, She's treated royal privilege like a marketing tool. Legal experts point to the 1917 Royal Titles Act, which prohibits former royals from using titles in a commercial context. If Parliament finds that Meghan violated it, the consequences could go far beyond public backlash. This isn't just a slap on the wrist. It's potentially the beginning of a legislative effort to formally erase her titles, and maybe even Harry's. What makes this moment so significant isn't just the legal push, it's the public sentiment behind it. A recent May 2025 YouGov poll revealed that 77% of Britons now support stripping Meghan of her Duchess of Sussex title. That level of consensus cuts across age, region and political lines. Even more striking, 61% say Prince Harry should lose his HRH status as well.
I don't want to be defined by Meghan Markle, even though she was personally responsible for me losing a job I loved. You know, she was the one who wrote to the boss of ITV on the Monday night that led to me leaving the next day. Talking about we're both women and we're both mothers. You got to get rid of him. Do people think that's right? Is it right that a person like Meghan Markle from a Californian mansion should lever a British television broadcaster out of a job he's enjoying, that viewers are enjoying him doing in that way? I don't think so. Is it right that my right to free speech was so impinged that I had to leave a job if I didn't apologise for disbelieving someone who said false things? I don't think so. I thought the whole thing was ridiculous, as did Ofcom, the government regulator, months later, who ruled in my favour. So I thought the whole thing, frankly, was preposterous.
This isn't just a royal family dispute anymore. It's become a national conversation about accountability, symbolism, and respect for tradition. For many, the issue is simple. If Harry and Meghan no longer want the responsibilities that come with being working royals, why should they keep the honours? The tipping point for many voters came not during a scandal, but during a podcast. Meghan appeared on a show hosted by Jamie Kern-Lima, describing her emotional struggles and signing off with her royal title, again. Viewers quickly pointed out that the entire conversation felt curated and performative. Her teary expressions didn't match her words, and social media sleuths were quick to dig up past clips of Meghan admitting she could cry on command. That resurfaced clip of Meghan joking about her ability to fake tears went viral almost instantly. In it, she laughs about being able to produce a tear in seconds, like it's a party trick. And when viewers compared it to her emotional podcast moment, the damage was done. What should have been a heartfelt confession now looked like a rehearsed monologue. Even body language analysts chimed in, pointing out inconsistent facial cues, mismatched emotions and odd gestures that signaled something deeper, perhaps discomfort or deception. But it didn't stop there. Meghan's critics seized on more signs of her obsession with the royal identity she claimed to have left behind. During a high-profile appearance in Los Angeles, she reportedly signed a card using her Royal Highness once again. This was not a public event, it was private. Which, to many lawmakers, made it even worse. Using a royal title privately, after promising not to use it at all, is viewed by insiders as a breach of integrity. Meghan's defenders say she's just holding on to a part of her past, but to the House of Lords, it's clear she's treating a constitutional symbol like a personal brand. The House of Lords isn't just reacting to public anger, they're citing real legal grounds. The petition now under review outlines multiple violations, including breaches of diplomatic protocol, misuse of titles, and unauthorized international representation. These aren't vague complaints, they're specific, documented actions that challenge the very purpose of royal designations. Take the Nigeria trip. Meghan and Harry arrived dressed like dignitaries, posed for official photos, and gave speeches on cultural identity and heritage. To the public, it looked like a royal tour, but there was one problem. It wasn't approved by Buckingham Palace or the UK government. No coordination, no clearance, no explanation. Just a high-profile visit that mimicked royal diplomacy without the backing of the crown. To Whitehall officials, this was dangerous territory. The UK's royal family is supposed to remain politically neutral. Any misstep abroad, especially one that involves military or government leaders, can have diplomatic consequences. That's why the Lords described the Sussexes' Nigeria visit not just as inappropriate, but as an act of unauthorised diplomacy. While the Nigeria visit triggered alarm behind closed doors, it was Meghan's ongoing public behaviour that pushed the matter into Parliament. A series of headlines, interviews and branded content all carried one thing in common. She kept using the title Duchess of Sussex. Not once, repeatedly, and often in ways that directly tied her royal status to personal ventures. Even during her much publicised Netflix series with Prince Harry, the show opened with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex splashed across the screen. It wasn't subtle, it was branding, and to lawmakers it crossed the line. To Parliament, this isn't just poor taste, it's exploitation. Titles like Duke and Duchess are tied to Britain's constitutional structure. They come with expectations, boundaries and rules. And when someone uses those titles to build a media empire while ignoring the obligations behind them, it cheapens the institution. This is the heart of the issue. Meghan and Harry wanted independence. They got it. But what they left behind wasn't just a crown, it was a contract. And the British government now believes they've broken it. That break from the contract is why this petition carries real weight. It's not a celebrity backlash or a culture war flashpoint. It's a legal manoeuvre rooted in centuries of royal precedent. The petition outlines how Meghan, in particular, has repeatedly breached communications protocol, most notably through her podcast Archetypes. There, she discussed deeply personal issues, made allegations of racism within the royal family, and shared grievances while still using her royal title. Under royal rules, titled members must avoid making politically sensitive or controversial statements, especially if they're no longer performing official duties. Meghan's comments, which included claims of mistreatment and mental health struggles, made global headlines and sparked criticism across the Commonwealth. In Parliament's view, it's not about silencing her voice, it's about how that voice was framed. When she speaks as Meghan Markle, the public figure, she's free. But when she speaks as Her Royal Highness or the Duchess of Sussex, her words carry the weight of a royal institution. And that's where the line was crossed. The petition now marks these actions not just as inappropriate, but as violations with diplomatic impact. The backlash isn't just legal or political, it's cultural. Across the UK, even among those once sympathetic to the Sussexes, frustration has reached a boiling point. What began as support for a couple seeking freedom has turned into disillusionment, with a duo perceived as using royal legacy for personal gain. A key flashpoint was Meghan's appearance at Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter concert in Los Angeles. In a viral moment caught on camera, she laughed and shouted, "You know I'm Sussex now," while mingling with celebrities. It may have been said in jest, but to many back in Britain it felt like mockery, not just of the title, but of everything it's supposed to represent. Duty, service and history. The House of Lords took notice. That one moment, seemingly casual, was cited in the official petition as further proof that Meghan treats her title not with reverence, but as entertainment. It wasn't a tabloid take, it was written into the record, used as evidence that the Duchess of Sussex title has become, in their words, a punchline. It's not just Meghan's critics making noise. Even some royal watchers and former supporters are expressing disappointment, saying the Sussexes could have used their platform to build something meaningful outside the monarchy. Instead, the perception is that they've leaned on their titles while distancing themselves from the responsibilities those titles represent. One Conservative MP, reflecting widespread sentiment, has pledged to introduce legislation to formally remove the Sussexes' remaining titles. This wouldn't be symbolic. It would be a legal intervention, unprecedented in modern times. The move is gaining traction not just because of Meghan's actions, but because of what they've come to symbolise. A perceived rejection of royal duty paired with a relentless pursuit of celebrity influence. The King has remained silent. Buckingham Palace has offered no official response. But the House of Lords has stepped in where the monarchy has chosen to stay out. And that alone marks a shift in royal dynamics. A government now willing to enforce the rules that the palace won't. As the pressure builds, Harry hasn't escaped scrutiny either. While Meghan has become the lightning rod, Harry's role in this saga is under renewed focus. His participation in the Nigeria trip, his signature on Netflix deals, and his ongoing use of Duke of Sussex in public life are all part of the case being built inside Parliament. But it's Meghan who continues to attract the most attention, particularly for how she presents herself publicly. Her appearance on Jamie Kern-Lima's podcast was supposed to be a moment of vulnerability. Instead, it turned into a spectacle. Critics pointed out the overly emotional tone, the lack of visible tears despite the sobbing voice, and her habit of accepting praise with a tone that felt rehearsed rather than real. Even her defenders struggled to explain the disconnect. Was it emotional expression or image control? Was it authenticity or just another performance? That blurring of the line between sincerity and strategy is part of what's fueling the backlash. Meghan doesn't just use the title, she's built a brand around it. And now the question isn't if that brand offends tradition, it's whether it breaks the law. As pressure mounts, Meghan's public image is unraveling fast. Her podcast appearances, meant to show vulnerability, are now fueling doubt. Viewers pointed to her emotionless crying, mismatched expressions, and even a resurfaced clip where she boasts about crying on command. Then came the final blow. A handwritten card signed Her Royal Highness, despite agreeing not to use that title. That small detail triggered a big response. The House of Lords launched a petition under the Royal Titles Act, accusing Meghan of exploiting her title for fame and profit. Her Netflix intros, Nigeria visit, and branded events, all under the Sussex name, are now listed as evidence. To Parliament, this isn't about hurt feelings. It's about rule breaking. And Meghan has crossed the line too many times. Now the UK government is doing what the monarchy won't, taking action. The House of Lords has stepped in, backed by overwhelming public support and legal precedent. A staggering 77% of Brits want Meghan stripped of her title. Even Prince Harry isn't off the hook, with 61% saying he should lose his as well. This isn't royal gossip, it's a constitutional showdown. Meghan wanted out, but kept the perks. Now, Parliament is drawing the line. If the motion passes, Duchess of Sussex could soon be erased. Not by scandal, but by law. And with it, the final chapter of Meghan's royal story may be closing. By force, not by choice. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.